Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome back to the channel. You're watching Ken's Cuts. In this fun-filled episode, we're getting back into the grind. The last week, my wife and I were away sailing around the Western Caribbean, celebrating our 20th anniversary with friends and family. And we just got back yesterday, that being Saturday, flew back into Newark. Thank goodness for the FAA employees being back to work. And our flight got out on time, so that was a good thing. But just prior to leaving for vacation, I was contacted by a new customer who was referred to me actually by my tree service because John had posted on his personal page that one of his buddies was looking to offload some green firewood at a steep discount, and that someone would be me. So Charlie had reached out to me, wanted to know what I had. I explained to him that we were headed away on vacation. He said he was in no big hurry and that he's looking to stockpile to feed his wood stove for the 2026 heating season. And he's not concerned that the mulberry, the chestnut oak, the red oak was, freshly split in September, October, and it doesn't faze him at all. I told him I had roughly 3 cords that I could offer him because, as you all know, a few weeks ago I talked about needing to pivot, and I've got a disgruntled neighbor that dimed me out to the township. And right before we went away on vacation, I was issued a certified letter from the zoning officials telling me that I need to return this green space back to usable space, which was never being used in the first place. But that's here nor there. Anyway, what we got going on today is I'm actually standing in the garage trying to stay out of the wind. Winds are gusting today at about 35. The feels like temperature is about 45 Fahrenheit. It's closer to 60, but with the wind chill, they say the feels like is 45. So Charlie is going to come by this morning with his pickup truck and a dump trailer. I need to figure out the size of his dump trailer in the hopes that I can loosely toss a cord in and he can take that back to his property and start stacking for the 2026 heating season. This go round is a first for me. I normally deliver the full cords and half cords of heating wood, pit wood, stove wood, etc. With my trailer. But Charlie offered to come here with his dump trailer, and I've actually got about 2 pallets of mulberry that I want to get cracking on this morning. I'm going to split it and load up some wheelbarrows and have that ready for when Charlie arrives. So that's what we got going on. Let's go get the AXIS set in place, and I'll get right back to you. Stick around. All right, guys, we got the AXIS warming up. I'm hitched up to the SUV. We're on a tiny incline on the berm up here. It's not the ideal situation, but I just heard from Charlie he's having his morning coffee, and he confirmed that his trailer is a 5x12, but it is not a dumper. So I'm hoping that he's got at least 2-foot sides and we can loosely toss and get a cord on. Might need closer to a 3-foot side. I'll have to do the quick math and see where we stand with a 5x12, depending on the sides that he has when he gets here. So I'm going to start cracking this stuff up, filling some wheelbarrows, and I've got other piles that are ready to go for him. I'll flip you around and show you what we have available. All right, this mulberry was cut right before we went on vacation. So of course it's starting to turn brown, but as you can see, what's underneath is still yellow. So it's getting a little bit of air, which is great. That's only about a 3-foot stack, but that's what's left over that my boss did not take when we filled up his pickup truck with green oak and mulberry for his fire pit for next summer. And then over here's the monster pile of red oak and chestnut oak that was also cut in October. There's probably 4 face cord right here, give or take. This pile here is like freaking 6 foot tall. And then over here we've got this mulberry that I'm going to start tackling. I pulled the cookies off, put them here in the front. So I've got quite a bit here. I've got a few pieces up on the log lift. So I'm going to put you on the tripod and we're going to start splitting. I'm going to fill a couple of these wheelbarrows. And then this should be plenty to keep Charlie busy today. And then the next time he comes, I'll have the AXIS out of the way. And in my woodshed here is a full-on cord that I split over 2 evenings while my wife was away at a conference in about the 3rd week or so of October, 2nd week of October. So as you can see here, it's got 1025. Charlie will be able to see this stack. Obviously it's off the ground. There's a full-on cord right here. So he'll be able to back in across the berm. I'll get the AXIS out of the way the next time he comes, and we can hand bomb all of this right into the trailer. And that'll be 1 load. I got to get like 3 loads out of here for him. So let's put you on the tripod and get to splitting. All right, guys. Charlie's going to be here in about 20 minutes. I just busted up 4 rounds. This is a heaped wheelbarrow load. I want to get it over next to that other pile that I showed you in the last clip. And I'm just going to leave it right here in the wheelbarrow so that when Charlie gets here, we can just push it up next to the trailer and he can start hand toss it in, and then I can keep splitting on the rest of this mulberry. And then as I fill the wheelbarrow, I can bring it over to him. And then in between, he can be working on that chestnut and red oak as I almost knock over the birdhouse. Anyway, but yeah, it's a respectable wheelbarrow load right there, guys. It was only about 10 or 11 minutes or so. If I'm not mistaken, I peeked at the camera as I turned it off. I know the video was rolling before I actually started splitting, but something about 10 minutes, busted up those 4 rounds. And we're going to go on to the next wheelbarrow load. So let me put you in time lapse and we'll get to splitting so I can stay ahead of Charlie. Be right back. All right, guys, the trailer's loaded and the truck is loaded, and this is the best sight of the day. These 2 plastic pallets were full of mulberry rounds that I was able to split while Charlie was loading his trailer. So all of the mulberry that I had on the property that was green and not yet ready to burn is gone, except for these couple cookies. And I might actually keep this one for a Valentine's Day gift. It's looking kind of like a heart. Charlie was kidding. He's like, keep that one, don't cut it. I said, well, I'm going to make chunks out of this mulberry stuff because there's guys that do smoke with mulberry. This pallet here had oak on it, 2 stacks that was ready to burn, so that went in the truck. This pallet here had mulberry on it that was split at the end of October, so that's gone. So having empty pallets for me is a good thing because we got to pivot. This pallet here was full of fresh chestnut and red oak. It's gone. We kept the 12-inch splits here in the front that are barkless. Going to keep that and put it into crates. And similar to what I've done over here, these are going to get turned up on their sides. And I'm going to keep this for pizza wood. But the back half of this middle row here, we took half of. And the back full row, that's got to go almost 6 feet. A solid 5 feet anyway. Charlie said he'll be back for this the end of the month. He's interested in this 1.5 stacks. Back here in the back, we had mulberry that was ready to go from September of 24, and it was lined up in here. So we topped off the truck bed with the mulberry to finish that off. It's an 8-foot bed, and I'll show you the load here right before he's pulling out. And we've still got mulberry here that's ready to go from September of 24. A lot of these are 16 to maybe 20 inches in length, and it's about a half a face cord, a little less. Anyway, but time to start moving all these empty pallets so that we can clean this up and return the space to the township. All right, guys, we had you on time lapse on the tripod while we were loading, and of course Mother Nature had bigger plans, so we lost the tripod. But we're all loaded up now. Charlie's loaded. We got a full-on cord of fresh red oak, chestnut oak, mulberry on the trailer. That's a 6x12. She's stacked And then I'm standing on the tongue of the truck, the heavy diesel, 8-foot bed. We've got seasoned mulberry from September of 24 and oak that was cut in the spring of 25. Loaded up the 8-foot bed. Charlie's ready to head out. That's what we got going on, guys. All right, guys, the wind is calming down. Charlie just left. We just showed you the load there as he was getting ready to jump in the truck. Fired up the diesel and out he went. So not quite a normal video for me. It was something that had to be done, and I need to get this video edited and get it uploaded this evening so that we can have a Sunday video again. But as always, thanks a lot for sticking to the end, and if you like this kind of stuff, please share it and give us a like. Drop a comment down below. Tell me what you think of all these empty pallets. It's a good feeling to sell and have Benjamins in your pocket. There's a few of them in my pocket, and Charlie was more than thrilled that I was able to help him out. And he's going to take this stuff home, block up the trailer, unhitch from the truck, and then take the truck around and load the ready to burn into his woodshed, so he's ready for the winter season. So as always, guys, get outside, get cutting, take those big pieces of wood, make little pieces of wood. It all burns. And when you got customers that are calling for wood, you help them out, you do what it takes. And I'm gonna get wrapped up here. I'm gonna crack open those couple of cookies and throw that stuff into some oversized milk crates and call it a day. Head for the showers, get some dinner, and get ready for Eagles football. Have a good week, everybody. Thanks a lot. We'll catch you on the next one.